Is this your first time here? I was thinking about that.
No, I came with Gasman, my short film.
Wow.
It was a brilliant time.
My God.
It was when Bingham Ray was alive. He was such a lovely guy, and I was so sad, and I remember playing pool with Bingham. That's what I remember the most about it, and then the second time I was on a jury where it was an international jury.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a strange one that year, because I think no one really, there was different films people wanted. There was only this tiny jury, and Nick Broomfield did actually a very strong film, and I always felt he should have got a prize.
Okay.
We should have given him a prize. Yeah.
I did So the last time I saw your film was in Cannes, and
right.
the first question, just as pure fanboy interest, is have you made any alterations or changes? Because we went into this without any credits, right?
Yeah.
Fade to black.
Well, it was just a little bit crazy, like making this movie was. It was like this film's telling us I'm going to be the craziest thing ever, because it wasn't me that put it forward. It was the French financiers.
Yeah.
Had shown it to Cannes, and it was unanimous, but it's storyboards in it, and I was like, look, and we'd only been 5 months into the edit or something, maybe even less, and I was like, can we just wait for Venice? And like, it's hard to say no to Cannes though, and and I got a lot of reassurance from Thierry. I was like, we're still finishing up here, but of course once people have seen it, it's kind of becomes its own thing. So then we took a bit of a sabbatical in the summer, and we were meant to start again. I was doing all this stuff with visas because my man is Russian, and we've got a daughter and sorting all that stuff out. And it was kind of dragging on, and it was me. I felt like the producer. I was like, when are we starting this again? So then when I did eventually get everyone together, and I was keeping everyone, hot, like Johnny, you around, and like whoever's, make sure we're all here, like, and
all the
keeping
pieces,
track, all the pieces. And then it was like, no, we really don't want to change it, because
but the expression, the expression on your face when you, because I was there in the press conference, is you hadn't seen it with the public yet.
No, not at all.
And so we were privileged to see the film before you, and I remember the reaction, me sitting down with a whole bunch of other film critics, is we all felt very strongly about this film, and it was a gut thing. Cool. It was like, so
no, it was a bonkers kind of thing for me, because I'd seen it, but the most people I'd seen it was probably 5 people.
Yeah.
And I think I hadn't even seen the actual, I think I saw the cut that went there once, and we were working up to the 11th hour, and I was kind of bummed, because they were like, when I heard it was in the last night, because I was like, I've jumped through all these hoops and blah, 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 and that slot's the kind of a bit like when everyone's left, and and I'm like, God, this is crazy. We're working all this thing up to the last,
11th hour.
11th hour.
Yeah.
And, but it's kind of political place, and and I think because there was the unfinished thing was, it's a scary thing to do. That it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't get much time. I mean, after we'd done it, it was like, the financiers, they've got a budget, and we could use whatever music they wanted in Cannes as well, because it's unlimited. It's like you don't need to clearance and stuff. Yeah. So the big deal when we went back was that, you can't use this, or we don't have the money for that, and blah blah blah. And then you're like, God, it's like, that's painful, and then but you've only got 2 weeks to sort that out. And I'm not someone that can just replace tracks. I really need to think about music.
Of course.
It's not like just swap it out. So I was freaked out by that a bit, but we made it really work, and I was just really clever about some of the things I did, and with the sound design.
Yeah, your choices for soundtrack and sound design and silence and minimal dialogue, it's very, very on cue.
Well, it was really having these people like around me as well, that like Johnny Greenwood or Paul Davis, my sound designer, like, just really at the top of their game, and we had to Johnny, I had to do a lot of it remotely. He was in tour with Radiohead, so I had to kind of like show him 5 minutes, and then show him 10 minutes, and show him 5, and he's like, what's going to happen next? And then he gets to Reel 4, and he's like, I love Reel 4, it's great, it's bonkers, and so it was a really evolving thing. But it was really tough after Cannes, because then I hear the first I hear is like, you've got 2 days to cut it, and I'm like, I can't cut anything in 2 days. I mean, like, I can do a couple of trims or something. So we sort of stretched that out to a week.
Okay.
But what I did is because some of the things were put in late in the film, like we'd shot them just before Cannes and stuff, and we edited them in hours, so it's a bit like a first cut, you know, assembly kind of thing, you know. And so I tried to make this because I don't like flashbacks very much, and I wanted it to be like kind of much more psychedelic and a bit more like post-traumatic stress, and like I thought about it like fragments of glass in the mind, you know, and the same with the sound, the explosions inside his head that he relives things, and so. You know, we did really a week to do anything, so I don't think it's that different. And I think there were some things in Canada that were really cool as well. I mean, it's only, to me, it's more sophisticated. You know what I mean? But you know, I got to the point where I was probably so brutal with it. You know what I mean? Like there was a cut. There's still a. I mean, I still love. You know, we should call it "You Were Never Really Finished" this film. You know, because like
That's
you know,
hilarious.
having a couple of extra weeks would have been nice. You know.
Well, what I can tell you is that you can trust your instincts no matter what kind of deadlines you self-impose. That's that's my advice from a fanboy who loved this film. I wanted to discuss the writing process specifically in terms of the darkly comedic elements, and I wanted to know, what did you extract from the actual tome? Is there something that you said, I can't fit this in, but it's something that you would have loved to fit in?
Well, I mean, we had a very short prep because Joaquin, you know, like had this window of time, and I'm like, and right away I knew I wanted him, even though I think, again, when you say Joaquin Phoenix, like, you know, I'm just like, it's a no-brainer, you know. But this is the first time in a film where I really knew I wanted this actor before I started writing. And I kept saying Joaquin Phoenix, but like, and then the financiers were like, but he doesn't do press, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, you know, if he does press or not, because he's amazing, you know. And he's going to bring a vulnerability to this character. He's going to bring all these elements. He's not going to be that six-pack guy. It's just so, and so to me, it was just so interesting in the first place. But yeah, I think I was always looking to. You can't just go darkness. You've got to have light. You've got to have different elements in a film to make it really sort of like rich. And so it was really, he came on board with writing prep. I mean, that's the first time I met him because we were speaking on the phone. So I was terrified because I'm like, I'm in prep. I've got 6 weeks or something. I don't have any locations. I have no soft prep at all. And how am I going to see Joaquin Phoenix while I'm seeing 72 locations in New York and driving all over this? You know, it's like crazy. But we moved like to Brooklyn and next door, like literally around the corner.
Yeah.
So I'm running around and also, you know, because we had 29 days, it was like, you've got 29 days. And I'm like, well, this film's like, we can't film it in 29 days. And so I had to do, you know, really boil down the script as well. But one thing we really did talk about a lot is to get, you know, to make this character so unexpected, you know, like he's brutal, he's terrifying, you don't know what he's going to do next, but he's also this sort of feminine, soft side, vulnerable side to him. A
lot of people were comparing, like after the first screening in Cannes, people were comparing him to Travis Bickle.
Yeah.
And I completely disagree with that, because this character, Joe, he's compassionate, and he indeed does carry a moral compass. Yeah. Whereas this other character, it's night and day. It's not even comparable.
Yeah. I think people like, you know, like Taxi Driver's a classic. Everyone loves it. I mean, that's one of my favourite films. But you know, people like this sort of sound bites, and I think there's easy comparisons, like it's set in New York and there's a young girl, and you know, and there is this kind of anti-hero in a way, and he, you know, I suppose it was funny. I was in France and they played some clip of Paul Schrader and Martin Scorsese speaking about Taxi Driver, and it was like, and I think the elements are like, it's the comparisons are kind of like maybe more in the surface, you know? But there was one thing that he said, it was like he's like this, he thinks he can save something, you know, and I think that's kind of in Joe, like it's some kind of, you know, when you had that history and that kind of history of violence, it's like and it gets all screwed up, like he's a fallible man, you know, like he doesn't save anybody, can't even save himself, that kind of thing, you know. But yeah, it's a different kind of character, I think, and I never really thought about Taxi Driver. Of course you always think of, when you think of genre movies, like you, but when I was kind of watching loads of documentaries, to be honest, you know. I'm kind of obsessed with documentaries.
Good for you. How does posture and physicality inform performance?
Oh, hugely. I mean, every film. I mean, like I used a non-professional actor in Ratcatcher, but we took the boy that he wasn't the pretty kid. He was the boy with the big ears. He had, you know, he had a kind of a way of walking like that was like very small, that boy, and a confidence as well, the way he gets in the bath with the girl, and you know, just the kids, like, it was so wonderful working in that film because they were so uninflected, you know. And I never told them what they were going to do next. It was like, you know, if it was a sensitive scene, I talked to the parents and all that stuff, but it was like a kind of, they were excited to come because, like, what are we going to do today? And we shot it in chronological order. And then we, you know, with someone like Sam, she just went into a trance. Like, she was Morphin Caller, and I recognised she was copying me, and I'm like, what? We were kind of mimicking each other. In the club scene at the end, she's doing exactly. Someone filmed me at the monitor, and it was almost embarrassing because I'm doing exactly what she's doing. It's like funny. Crazy. So it's kind of weird symmetry, and she's just amazing. I mean, she's just like phenomenal. She's like a silent movie actress. You can just watch her face every day. Tilda, she wanted to work with me. We met, and the first time I met her, I was like, oh my god, she's Vivienne Westwood high heels, and she's so imposing and like a goddess. And we talked about, you know, she knew I was doing it, and I was like, well, I think you're so extraordinary. I want this movie to be quite ordinary, you know what I mean? Like, kind of everyday.
Scale back,
and then she started making herself really small and hunched, and she said things like, showed my back fat, like, make sure you get this piece. You know, like, no actress would do that.
Of course.
And, you know, just made herself kind of physically erect and like and smaller than she's a tall woman. And then with Joaquin, it was like he was transforming himself into the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know, that physicality he really brought. I know the way he walked, and, you know, like a broken man in a way, like, and kind of the scars. You know, we were very careful about all that, and, you know. So I think he was evolving in the prep. He was getting bigger, and I liked it. I was like, it's not, and I want you to have a bit of a belly, and you know, I'd always liked Harvey Keitel on the piano because he's getting, you know, I think women, you know, people think women like these really buff bodies, but there's something that, you know, I find the dad bod can be a really kind of, the vulnerability within it as well. It can be very sexy as well, you know what I mean, in a way, like, especially in the piano or something. I think, you know, because it's like a real man, you know. And so I think, you know, it was Joaquin that brought that. Then when I saw him and how we talked about it, it was him that brought that physicality to the table, you know. I mean, he never did the same take twice. And the thing with the drug dealer, I mean, that was a real, you know, it was an extra that got a bit of a punch there. You know? He would do things I wouldn't expect, and I'd be like, it was like gold dust. It was like, there's so many ways to cut this film, and that's where the humour, we were going, let's try it funny, let's try it the way you wouldn't expect, and it was a sort of thrill ride of a film to make a film like that, and with someone so talented like that, you know. It was, you know, because I'm looking through the camera, I'm like, what's he going to do next? And I think you feel that in the film, you know. So hopefully,
definitely, you do away with the hero complex by giving us one of the most badass heroines in recent film history, without detailing plot points because I don't want to spoil it for everybody there. What did you appropriate any larger ideas for this female character?
Yeah, the whole fourth act, I took the whole end and I changed it to so it was all about her. It was like a hallucination. Like, he's gone totally mad. Like, the film started off as this. Maybe I'm making this badass kind of action film, and I want it to be compelling, and I want it to be exciting, and I want the audience to go with it. But I kind of went so deep into the character because I'm always compelled to go that way. And then we talked about a lot of the. We tried to take all the cliches like from that kind of character that you see in these movies. Started becoming masculinity in crisis, about a kind of Lazarus thing that she saves him in a way, but it's in this messed up dreamlike way, you know, like, because he's went so over the edge at this point.
It's it was an interesting little footnote to that character. I was drawn.
Yeah, well, that wasn't in the novel at all. None of the fourth reel, the crazy fourth reel. Yeah,
awesome.
So.
Well, there's so many things to admire about this film. I said it to you in Cannes. I said this is your film. This is the seminal film for Lynne Ramsay. I think it's perfection. It's outside of cinema. It speaks to me on so many different levels, and And it was a joyous, rapturous moment for me. So thank you for your cinema.
Well, I hope I can always get interviewed like this and someone that
I'll see you a lot sooner, hopefully, for number 5.
Yeah.
Number 5.
I definitely want to be. It was such a creative experience. I'm just so pumped to get on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
maybe with Joaquin again. Because like.
It could happen.